Sheet Metal Training, Section 3.10, a walkthrough of the round joints and sealants. Once in the data file, select the round joints and sealants page. The first column is going to be a description column where you can put up to 22 different round joint connectors. We do recommend that you include a description that will designate a different material type, as it'll be easier for you to pull these out when using those pressure files. The description column will allow you to put in a short description of what this joint connector is. The bend allowance will be inches to take away from the length of a piece of pipe or the end of a fitting in order for this joint connection to be used. Per foot cost is going to be the cost per foot going around the circumference of this round joint product. Same thing with the description here. You'll put in a small short description which will let you know what that cost covers. Listed at the bottom, you'll see that there is a joint sealant button. When you go to this page, you'll notice that it's very, very similar to the rectangular joints and sealants and set up in the same manner. You put in a description of the joint sealant you're using, a price per foot, and a foot per hour for the installation of that sealant, as well as a scrap factor. The notes shows the average coverages from our national average guide. If we go back to round joints, you'll see there is a per joint setup button at the bottom. Selecting this will allow us to set up all of the different specifics about each of the individual joint types. Starting with spiral coupler, we'll see there is a cost column. So these are purchased couplers. An 8-inch coupler is going to cost our company $2.42 to buy. We're not fabricating it, and we're not attaching it within the shop. We are attaching it within the field, so it's getting a 0.1 labor factor. Diameters 3 through 28 are listed on the left, and 30 through 80 are listed on the right. Farther to the right, you'll see the allowable sealants per joint. Spiral coupler is only allowed to use these first three and aluminum foil tape. Looking at the bottom, you can see that you can dictate cleats, screws, and then even the weight per lineal foot. This is allowing you to dictate the quantities so that on the report you'll get a total number of screws or average number of screws required for the job. Check to allow this joint to be used on items without collars. Spiral pipe does not have a collar on the end of it, so therefore we want to be able to put the coupler inside of it. Check if this is a flange joint connection. You can see that will be only relevant for items that are using flanges, such as spiral mate, acuflanges, angle rings, or even vanstone flanges. Listed to the right is pipe-to-pipe connector only. This setup will tell the program to only use this joint type if we have a pipe-to-pipe connection. Therefore, if you take off 7 feet of spiral pipe, you are not going to get a coupler. If you take off 12 feet of spiral pipe and your standard length is set to 10, you will get a coupler. Let's go back to round joints, and this concludes the walkthrough of the round joints and sealants setup page.